I've been thinking about Witcher armor recently, and after my video on studded leather armor and some discussion in the comment section, I knew I had much more to say. I made the Witcher game inspired leather breastplate in which the studs are meant to hold multiple layers of padding underneath leather, like gambeson. But rather than layers of padding sewn together and rivets being there as more like decorations, I think riveting is more protective as sewn layers won't unravel if strings get cut like on padded jack. But looking again at Witcher TV armor, I came to the idea that rivets may serve to stop slashing as well. But leather curiosity got on the next seasons is not working for me. Armor should be flexible to move, especially for a Witcher, but this hardened leather musculata doesn't seem that flexible to me. Just use brigandine armor if you love leather that much. Fantasy adventurers are different from historical soldiers, as they don't go to war but face weird creatures, especially like monster hunters like witches, so their armor must be different too. The great beasts usually fight with fangs and claws, like bear claw I have right here, which can go through mail armor, the go-to armor of the Middle Ages. Yes, you could make smaller rings or use more complex sewn techniques or even use thicker rings, or just wear plate armor. But this adds too much weight and hinders mobility, and clicking and clacking and mail shaking and plates clacking won't be that great for a sneaky hunter. Nature is the best armor out there, so we can just steal from her. All manner of animals have fur and thick skin to protect them. Fur is great padding and can protect against bites. That's why lions and big game hunting animals like Caucasian and Tibetan shepherds have thick manes on their necks. I'll talk about fur hide armor in future videos. Other animals have developed thick skin that is hard to pierce. Thankfully, humans have been able to harness them as leather. Anyone who works with leather knows how difficult it is to pierce, even with a special awl, let alone a weapon. But it can be done, so layering them to increase its thickness might be a very good idea. Unfortunately, leather armor is not so good against slashing. Thankfully, bears don't have swords, but there are greater monsters out there, who hold greater hate in their heart than any beast. Man, worse they are, nastier their weapons. So maybe adding series of rivets like in Indian coat of thousand nails will stop the cuts from going in deep. I think much better idea is shown in Witcher video game, where you combine mail with leather, where mail protects from slashes and leather from piercing. Some might think that it's smarter to wear leather over mail armor to protect it from elements, but leather would be useless if it gets slashed enough, so it's better to hide it behind mail, so mail protects it from slashing and leather protects you from piercing. Leather is made of layers of organic fiber that are held together, so when you pierce the leather, the fibers get tighter, thus it's harder to pierce. But if we impregnate leather with more glue to hold those fibers together, it will be much more difficult to pierce and cut. That's the idea behind hardened leather armor. I used beeswax, which ain't that good. I think Todd from Todd Workshop had a great idea using animal glue to harden it. I might try it later on. Also, a fun tale I forgot to mention in a previous video regarding studded armor is Legend of Lambton Worm, where a giant serpent who coiled and crushed all who tried to slay it was stopped by a crusader with spiked armor. Perfect example of how armor is meant to adapt and protect you from your enemy's attacks, be it sword or serpent. I hope you found this edumataning. Thanks for watching and take care.